It was embarrassing. What an embarrassing way to lose. They do it again. Last time it was DJ Khaled. Another one. This time I'm thinking Ariana Grande. Thank you. Next. Okay, no, I don't want to do that right away. I just kind of want to let it sink in for a little bit. Also put Tanner Pearson on the spot. Pearson, Miller, Myers. Oh, boy. Heck, even Thatcher Demko. I know he's good. I know he's very talented. I believe in Thatcher Demko, but boy, oh boy. There are many parts of this team that are not good. So, the Vancouver Canucks have lost their 5th game in a row. Unfortunately, this one was not a multi-goal lead, wherein they actually blew the game. This instead was a game where they had multiple 1-goal leads. Then they eventually lost in overtime. Final score here in this one is 4-3, and I don't really know what else there is to say other than... Okay, you know what, let's just go over the goals first. Let's talk about what went in, how things went out, and then we can talk about this team, because starting things off, hey, it's the Minnesota Wild who get their very first lead on the season. Coming into this game, both the Wild and the Canucks were 0-4, but the difference being that Vancouver actually held the lead for 135 minutes and 8 seconds of game time. That was 3rd most in the NHL up to this point. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Wild had led for 0 minutes. 0 seconds at that. And so, of course, you know, Vancouver going out there and leading games to a very good capacity in this league, but just having that 0-4 record, it kind of boggles your mind even more. But the first goal of the game, it is Zuccarello who gets the puck right in front of the net. It's a very weird bounce. I don't even know how it gets to the front of the net. It only took 5 minutes, but the Minnesota Wild finally scored first in a game, and it's 1-0 thanks to Zuccarello. The next goal comes a few minutes later. It is at the 8-minute mark. It's Tanner Pearson who does a very nice pass, a very nice give and go. It's Bo who takes it. He goes to Pearson over the blue line. Pearson the backhand centering feed, and it's a backdoor tap-in for Bo Horvat. 1-1 the game, and Bo has been on fire on the score sheet. You could say what you want about his play when he's not scoring goals, but at the very least he is getting results. The next goal is scored by none other than Nils Aman with a beautiful setup by Dakota Joshua. Hughes finds Joshua with a long quarterback pass, and Joshua picks it up at the blue line. He comes in, skating backwards, using his big frame to protect the puck, and he backhand passes it to Aman, who comes in, he dekes, and he scores. 2-1 Vancouver with about 3 minutes to go in the first period, but as we had talked about in the prior game's analysis when it comes to line changes and giving star players the open room to move, with a minute left, it's Kirill Kaprizov who dashes down the left wing all by himself. He throws it out in front, and it's Sam Steele who one-times it and scores. 2-2 to end off the first period, and the second starts off pretty poorly as well because Tanner Pearson goes to the box 37 seconds in for hooking. Yeah, nice. We'll talk about Pearson as the game goes on, but the next goal that is scored in this game, it's none other than Dakota Joshua, who actually had himself a pretty good game on the score sheet, a goal and an assist, and I felt that he actually made some pretty good plays when it comes to making big hits. I saw Curtis Lazar out there blocking shots, being physical. Nils Aman played with good pace. I like this fourth line. I really do. But Dakota Joshua gets himself his goal here to make it 3-2 Vancouver. It's a beauty shot attempt by OEL. It's tipped by Joshua initially, and the rebound pops right back out to him, and he's able to bury it on a second attempt far side. There were a few other opportunities to score in this second period. The Canucks had a power play, Pettersson had a shot off the crossbar, Horvat had a rebound on an open shot. You also had yourselves a beautiful Mikheyev spinning setup after the Joshua goal, right to JT Miller in front, but Miller got robbed by the flying poke check. The period actually finished off very strongly too, as the fourth line almost scored again, and Kuzmenko, oh my goodness. I scratched Alex DeBrincat to play Kuzmenko today in fantasy, which I feel like was a very rational decision. before the game, but no, DeBrincat had a goal and an assist. Kuzmenko, by the way, he did not do anything when it comes to scoring points, but he was very, very dynamic, going through the legs, making a few really nice rushes happen on his stick. He showed off his handles. Petey had some shots at the end of the second period as well, and then the third period started, and yeah, this is kind of when things fall apart. I'm just going to go out there and read the notes that I have. I know I said I'm going to go over the goals, but I wanted to read the notes that I have here for the third period. Firstly, Myers with a huge mess-up, which leads to a beautiful wild passing play. Demko comes out huge on Boldy. Demko had to come up huge in the first 5 minutes, actually, as the Minnesota Wild just had their opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. Then it's Tanner Pearson, who takes a really dumb penalty on Boldy. He just chops at the guy while taking him down. The Wild take their continued pressure from earlier on in the period. As the 6-on-5 commences, they want to score on the 6-on-5, and the penalty kill for Vancouver that ensues afterwards is a disaster. Myers breaks his stick. Bo gives his stick to Myers. Bo doesn't have a stick. The Canucks can't change. Kaprizov goes to Zuccarello on the side, and he makes an absolutely beautiful tip on goal at such a wide angle, too. It beats Thatcher Demko 3-3, and it does not look good at all. Like, seriously, that power play, or excuse me, that penalty kill, that definitely was a more cringe-worthy moment from a Vancouver Canucks analysis point of view, because they just crumbled away. Bo didn't have a stick, and you could see them really starting to panic, and Minnesota just took advantage. They held the puck for such a long time, too, before making the goal inevitably go in. The Canucks from this point just kept on letting the Wild walk in and do what they want. Brodin gets a penalty towards the end of the third on Pearson for holding, and Fleury comes out there and makes a few big saves. You know, everybody's talking smack about Fleury because of how his season started out, but Fleury robs Kuzmenko in front. He also robs Horvat. Miller admittedly looks awful here in the power play, and the second unit can't get anything done per usual. And then we have overtime, where things look even worse. There were a few plays where I felt Quinn Hughes definitely wasn't his best self, not just in overtime, but in regulation. A few skips of the puck here and there, a few overskating moments as well. You had JT Miller, who was caught on a very long defensive shift in overtime again, and he wasn't able to clear the puck out on the side when he had an opportunity to. It leads to Tyler Myers having to defend the 2-on-1. Myers gets a penalty, even though the Wild don't score, and eventually it's Kirill Kaprizov on the 4-on-3 delayed penalty after Fleury sends a pass from his side of the red line up and forward. Eventually it's Kirill Kaprizov at the side of the net. He takes the shot, Demko makes the save, but Demko thinks the rebound goes to the opposite side. Demko gets turned around. It's Myers and Besser who are in the crease trying to block Kaprizov, who has the puck right open on the side of the net. He takes his time. He sees this tire fire of a Canucks defense in front of him, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to score. There you go. The Wild have their first win of the season. In Vancouver, they ultimately blow another lead. It's really funny, honestly. Like, I get that people are frustrated, and you could start calling everybody out on Twitter, you could start raging, you could whatever, but at the end of the day, Vancouver fans, man, we have nothing that we can do about this. We just gotta watch. And this is a really entertaining tire fire of a season so far. I mean, quality of play-wise, you could definitely say, hey, at their peak, the team looks good. At the end of the second, they looked good. During certain moments on their power play, they looked good. But even the best players over here are not being their best to the magnitude that we expect them to. Like, of course, people are allowed to make mistakes, but some of these mistakes are really bad. Quinn Hughes overskating the puck, leading to some very good Wild pressure. Tyler Myers giving it up behind his own net, which sets up a very beautiful Wild passing play where Boldy's just not able to finish it off. The Vancouver Canucks are finding ways to lose games in the best way possible for other teams, because they're being given grade A opportunities that Thatcher Demko cannot consistently bail them out on. Yes, I know Demko probably could be a bit better. A lot of these goals that he's let in, they're probably goals that he doesn't want to let in. They're goals that's like, okay, you give Bubble Demko the opportunity to shine, and he might make that save more times than not, but eventually that dam is going to crack. So many defensive collapses, so many wide open opportunities for the opponents, and you're going to lose games. That's it. The Vancouver Canucks are 0-3-2 to kick off the 2022-2023 season. They realistically could have been 5-0, but nah. Thank you. Next. Time to the console your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trolls99. I feel really bad now because I want to use that thank you next just in case they lose again, but yeah, I don't know. And bye.